Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So yeah, I want to thank those that advised me to look into Patreon. I will attempt to set it up and see if I can link it to an account here. I may not be able to, but if I can, then I will go into the community tab and post everything so that you don't have to write things down as I dictate them. You simply can just cut and paste and go join the Patreon if you want. I will not I will not go into multiple tiers, not right now. I would just probably have one tier, $5 US a month. The other thing too is that, and we'll see how that goes, but updates on that will go into the community tab for obvious reasons. I will try to transition into making money online. Absolutely. And I've been approved to teach and tutor online. So this does free me up in a lot of ways. Absolutely liberating to read that email as long as they're willing to pay a nice chunk of change. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. Next, I want to point out that I don't know how much they're going to pay. So I'm not saying that this whole jobless situation is completely over and relieved. It's happening in steps. But I am in a position in which I can turn down a position offered to me for 13,000 Saudi riyals a month. I can turn it down because there's another company for which I'm definitely qualified. And they're going to have my resume in a few hours, inshallah. And when that happens, they start at about 16,000 riyals a month. That's where they start at. That doesn't include with the extras that they pay. You know what? I can hold out for that because at the very least, the chump change from teaching online is better than nothing. And I'm not completely destitute. I'm just trying to be responsible with the savings that I do have. So for those of you who have supplicated for me, may Allah reward you. Also, I want to tell you guys about story time and then I'm out. Nobody has sent anything. Nobody has emailed me anything for story time recently. I started it because I want you all to be able to teach each other lessons from real life stories. My conditions are this. You send at least a US dollars equivalent to any one of the digital currency wallets I put in my description boxes. Not much. At least a US dollar equivalent, either one. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the ones that are most commonly used. Then I think Ripple's the next one. But you send at least that. Now, if you send more, I'm certainly going to prioritize that because you paid more for it. But all I'm asking is, I actually got a donation to that, and I appreciate that. I would apologize for burping just now, but I'm actually kind of proud of it. I felt the rumble. So somebody sent that, but there was nothing in the story time. There was no emailed story to me. I hope it didn't go to spam or get deleted automatically, but I went through the folders in my email address, and it wasn't there. When you send something to another wallet, as you guys know, you get a payment number. I think they call it payment hash number or something, but you get a number that's just reserved for that particular transaction. You can verify it on your end and the receiver can verify it on their end. If you email me that and the story, understand the assumption you're doing so, the very act of doing so serves as a testimony that the story and the lesson therein are true, but you're allowed to lie about the names of people, the exact dates and places of the story. You're allowed to do that so as to protect the identities of the people involved, the offenders and the victims alike. But the story should be true so that the lesson will be true. You got my free permission to make up names, locations, and dates and times. And I'm not even going to put your name, neither your email username nor the name as it shows up in the email. I'm not going to put that out there because that still protects your privacy. The story is going to be how you know that it was your story that was there. I will narrate the story you tell me. So it will be important to punctuate. Absolutely. You'll need to punctuate. When you say what so-and-so said, you need to put that in quotation marks. But that's what you do. If you do it that way, I will narrate the story that you sent to me. The email address is jet.black.core@gmail. If I remember, I'll write it in the description box. But again, jet.black.core@gmail.com. I know, it's just Jet Black Core, like the inside of a star. Jet Black Core. You got to spell core correctly. CORE. That's the email address. Email me the hash payment that matches up to a transaction of more than a US dollar in any digital currency that for which I display the wallet. Cash App would take too long. I wouldn't even know about it right off the bat. It takes me however long it takes my relatives to wake up, see my question, and then say, yeah, this was sent by so-and-so. It takes that long. Cash App, man, look. But, the digital currency, once I go into my email and I see it, now I can go into my wallet and verify that it's there. I take the story and I narrate it. And I'll familiarize myself with the story so you don't hear me stumbling and fumbling, as long as you punctuate it correctly. That's it. And you all can benefit from each other completely anonymously. You can teach each other these lessons completely anonymously. That's what I want for you. And I want the young to be able to hear this. Because see, if you know my experiences, but you also know someone else's, you will know the difference between the experiences. You'll be able to draw your own patterns, and you can go and tell your younger brothers, especially if they're still minors, because you're legally allowed to tell them these things, and you can tell them what's going on. You can tell them what mama ain't gonna tell you, because she may not even know how to articulate it if she wanted to, but it doesn't help her to tell you. And you still need to know, no matter how much you love her. And I hope you do. There are things you need to know. And there are things that you must know so you can teach your younger brothers. Because really the most important outcome of all of this awareness we have, red pill, passports, SYSBM, IBMOR, the most important awareness, or the most important outcome of this awareness is, what do these young boys learn before they're even teens, let alone adults, that will help them to sidestep a situation in a rigged game in which the girls, not the women, but the girls start off with a whole lot of knowledge and tricks taught to them. That's the major outcome of this, the most important. Is your brother, who's 10, going to be able to enter into middle school knowing that the game is rigged, knowing that if every single girl boycotts him, it ain't his fault and he shouldn't worry about that? Knowing that he should plan his life ahead to either be single or to get out the West, or to stay single as long as he's in the West, because the game's rigged and his failure in it would not be his fault, no matter what somebody else comes along and tells him. That's the major thing, because once a generation of males comes up with this knowledge and awareness, guess who loses their power? I hope this helped. And I sincerely hope that you all come with some of these stories. I'm only asking for a US dollar as a sign of your commitment to tell a true story, even with lying details for the sake of anonymity and privacy. And a sign that you're taking it seriously. That's why it's so little I'm asking for. Plus, it does help me to learn how to move around between currencies as they move up and down. This helps me to learn. Just a little chump change. Now, to the one that donated last time, I appreciate that. I didn't find any matching story, which is why I never narrated. And now that I think about it, I'll go and check every single folder, not just spam, but I'll check every single folder just to be on the safe side. But didn't find any, which is why I never narrated. My next upload, I'm going to talk about PNB Rock, inshallah, and what happened with him and what lesson that is for us. Thank you for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout. Assalamu alaikum. Black, heterosexual, non-select male power, just because she doesn't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.